Huh.
Hello there. Tonight we're going to be using Ada soap. I got a couple of samples from Daniel Idzen off of North America's #1 best wet shavers, or Shave Mug Society, or the Frugal Wet Shaver. He's a part of all of these groups, and a good friend. And he sent me a couple of samples. He sent me this one. I've got it here in this little container, and I just spilt water on my computer. Thank goodness I've got plastic covering that. But anyway, this is Ada soap, and this is a cedar scent. He sent me cedar and peppermint. And the thing about Ada soap, that they're a Canadian soap. It's an artisan soap. It's vegetable based. But they're like $5 Canadian for a puck of soap, man. That's really, really cheap. But the thing about it is this soap does not perform cheap. It's a really, really good soap. It's really slick. It's really protective. The lather's nice and thick and creamy. It's got a wonderful sheen to it. Just a lovely soap all the way around. Now, this one is cedar. And this particular one, the scent to me is a little weak. I wish that it were a bit stronger, that I smelled the cedar a bit more. But you know what? Some scents are mild and some scents are heavy, and I appreciate the whole spectrum, of that in the shaving world. And the quality and the efficiency, the soap is a hard. It approaches a hard soap. It's soft, but it's kind of like a putty, sort of like Martin de Condra in consistency. It's really, you can press your finger down in it a little bit, but it doesn't go far. So it approaches a hard soap, which to me means it's going to last a bit longer. Just wonderful stuff. And we're going to shave with that tonight. Thank you, Daniel. And this was like a surprise. He didn't say, I'm sending you this or anything like that. He waited till he thought it would be close to the time that it would arrive. And he said, hey, check your mail. He sent me a PM, and I love that. I mean, nice surprise. Didn't say a word to me about it. All of a sudden, I've got soap in my mailbox. Good stuff. So, and this soap, I don't know if you can see it. And I might try to show you a little bit later once I get lather formed on it. But I mean, the proto lather is so rich and creamy. When I see that sheen on the top of a proto lather, it makes me happy. It doesn't, there are soaps that don't have that sheen and they still do really well, and I really like them. And I'm not saying that's the be all and end all, but for me, when I see that kind of sheen on the proto lather, that that's when I know, that's going to be a good shave. A lot of times I associate that with, and to me it works out that a lot of times means that the soap is going to be really slick. To me it seems like there's a component in the shaving soaps, and I don't know what it would be. I'm not a soaper, just a shaver. But to me it seems like and I just added some more water. Seems like there's a component in a lot of the shaving soaps that puts off that sheen, and to me it's almost directly related to slickness. Every time I get something that has that shininess to it like that, 9 times out of 10 I know that the soap is going to have a really good slickness to it. This does not disappoint in that regard. But I mean, look at that. Nice, creamy, white, shiny, thick, soft, luxurious lather. Hard to beat that. Oh, excuse me, gentlemen. (9/16) Genco Grant round point with Australian Blackwood scales. Back to shaving. I do that sometimes on these videos. I kind of get excited about the shave. And I don't show all the particulars. Matter of fact, I don't believe I showed you the brush. It's a 1470 Semogue. You'll have to forgive me. I've been traditional shaving a year and a half probably, and the new has not worn off yet. I'm still excited. To step into my bathroom. Step up to my sink. And make lather with soap and a brush. And put a vintage razor, straighter, double edge or single edge, doesn't make any difference, up against my face and shave. Lovely stuff. People talk about this being a hobby, and you know what? There ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking that. I get into all the different aspects of different brushes and different soaps and different things like that. So, you know, if you look at it from that perspective, you could say hobby, but for me, vintage shaving, traditional shaving, it's a way of life. It's something that I don't think will ever, sometimes we get into hobbies and there's an ebb and flow. The hobby is something we're really into and we really enjoy, but then something else comes along and it takes the place of the hobby that we were doing. We don't do that as much. We're focused on the new thing. Well, for me, I don't believe that that'll ever happen with shaving. For me, it's more a way of life. Than it is a hobby. But I enjoy all the different aspects. That go along with the kind of the hobbyist type side of wedge shaving. All the different razors, all the different blades, all the different soaps and creams and aftershaves and brushes and all that kind of stuff. It's lovely, and you know what? You only live once. So when you find something, or when I find something like this, that really not just excites me, but brings me an incredible amount of joy in the doing. You know, it becomes a part of my lifestyle, and I'm so glad for it. And this soap is wonderful. There's a underlying scent to it that I'm not sure. There's almost a bit of sweetness in this that I've done. I know it's not coming from the cedar. And to be honest, I can smell the cedar off the puck, but once it hits my face, I don't get any cedar. I'm getting, like I said, almost a sweetness, but it's lovely. My phone is ringing and I wanted to run in there and check it. It might be our pastor. Sometimes tonight's Wednesday night and I'm shaving for the Wednesday night service right now, but sometimes he'll call me and say, you know, I've got too much work today and got caught up in this or that, and I'm not going to be able to make service today. Will you preach tonight? So that's a possibility. I'll have to go check the answer machine once I get done with this shave. And that'll be a joy if it's the case, but it won't matter. It'll be a joy just to go to church tonight, play the piano and sing, and listen to a good teaching, good sermon. Where Wednesday nights is usually Bible study unless I end up there, and then it's a preaching because I'm not gonna do. We're in the book of 1 Samuel right now, and I'm not gonna try to teach because that's not, you know, the pastor does the Bible studies on Wednesday nights, and I want to leave him room to do whatever it is he wants to do. So, you know, I'll preach if that's the case. And it may not have been, it might be somebody trying to sell me something or something like that. That's why I've got an answer machine, so I don't have to listen to sales pitches and stuff like that. So anyway, tonight's aftershave, and it's not really night. It's like 4:45. So this evening's aftershave is going to be a lemon scented witch hazel based homemade aftershave that I use from time to time because I'll be going to church tonight, and I'll be wanting to use a cologne or an EDT.Wet, but I don't want anything that's going to linger for an aftershave. This will last 15-20 minutes, and it will go far away, which is fine with me. All right, that's been the shave. God bless you. If you're considering Ida soap, I would say to you, give it a try, especially if you're frugal. $5 a puck, right around that. Just wonderful stuff. I don't believe you'll be disappointed at all. God bless you, and I'll see you later.